When did you realize your workplace wasn't just stressful, but actually corrupt? For me, it happened at my first real job after college. I'd landed an entry-level position at a mid-sized marketing firm, and at first I thought I'd hit the jackpot. Sleek offices, free coffee, a boss who shook my hand and called me part of the family. The honeymoon phase didn't last long. At first, it was little red flags I brushed off. People would whisper in the break room and stop talking the second I walked in. Timesheets kept disappearing, and I noticed over time hours never made it onto my paycheck. When I asked HR, they gave vague answers like, "We'll look into it," but nothing ever changed. The real turning point came one night when I stayed late to finish a campaign proposal. The office was quiet, just me and the hum of the copier. I went to print something and realized the machine was out of paper. When I opened the storage cabinet, a thick binder fell onto the floor. It wasn't labeled, but curiosity got the better of me. Inside were expense reports, hundreds of them. Only they weren't normal expenses. We're talking golf trips to Hawaii listed as client meetings, $3,000 dinners under office supplies, even a payment to someone's personal credit card. My boss's signature was on nearly every page. My stomach flipped. The next morning, I brought it up quietly to a senior coworker I trusted. She froze, glanced around to make sure no one was listening, and whispered, "Don't ever mention that again if you want to keep your job." Then she walked away like I hadn't said a word. That's when I started noticing other strange things. A coworker who had been vocal about payroll issues suddenly stopped showing up. Rumor was he'd been let go for performance problems. Another colleague, who once hinted about cooking the books, got transferred out of state overnight. It was like anyone who asked questions simply vanished. I knew I should just keep my head down, but I couldn't shake what I'd seen. So I started quietly documenting everything. Screenshots of emails, copies of reports, even voice memos when I overheard my boss bragging about bonus perks. I kept it all on a flash drive I hid in the lining of my backpack. Then came the day of the big quarterly meeting. My boss stood in front of the whole company, patting himself on the back for record profits. Everyone clapped, but I couldn't focus, because the numbers on that slide, they were the same ones I'd seen in the fake reports. I realized we weren't just talking about shady expenses, we were talking about full-on fraud. I made a decision that night. I called the company's supposed anonymous whistleblower hotline. A week later, HR called me in. I thought maybe, just maybe, something would finally be done. Instead, they accused me of violating confidentiality. They claimed I'd stolen documents and spread false rumors about leadership. I was stunned. They slid a resignation agreement across the table and told me if I didn't sign, they'd make sure my career never recovered. That's when it all clicked. HR wasn't there to protect employees, they were there to protect the company. The hotline was a trap to weed out anyone who spoke up. I walked out without signing. A month later, I landed a new job at a smaller, more transparent firm, but the experience stuck with me, because now I know the truth. Some workplaces don't just silence complaints, they erase them. And if you're not careful, they'll erase you right along with them.